Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 MOCs of the Week episode. This is basically where I show some of the coolest MOCs that I happen to see people building throughout the week. And like always, if you want your MOC to appear in this episode, we show all the fan creations, all the submissions that you guys have been sending throughout the week show up at the very end of the episode. There's an email in the description below for sending your own pictures if you'd like to do that, and let's jump right in with the very first build of the week. This first one is pretty simple, small, simple, and fun. It's called Squawk by Gregory Coquelz. For those that are familiar with Pixar movies, this I immediately recognized being from the short movie For the Birds. I can't remember which Pixar movie this played in front of, but it's one of my favorite shorts, and like I can immediately recognize that this is one bird making fun of that larger sort of awkward bird and the other guy laughing. It's a great little build, a great little short, and this next LEGO creation, it comes from Daryl Ming, and it's the pretty recognizable StormTrooper E11 blaster rifle. This is the standard weapon that pretty much all stormtroopers have and they carry around with them during the movies. It's built to what looks like a 1-for-1 scale. The designer even created their own UCS sticker and placard for it. And generally, I'm not a huge fan of the LEGO life-size weapons, but this is definitely the best version of this Star Wars LEGO rifle I've seen, and I thought it was worth taking a look at. The next build here is by Ogre. I think that's how you say the name, at least on Flickr. And the title is Police L.E.V 5, or Light Enforcing Vehicle. And I'm not gonna lie, little hover speeder bikes are sort of my guilty pleasure when it comes to LEGO builds. And there are amazing ones coming out all the time because it's a great way to just be creative with some fun little connection points, and it of course doesn't require a huge amount of parts to invest. But the reason why I chose this particular speeder out of like a million others that I've seen this week is because, well, number one, I just sort of like the look of this, but number two, we also get this alternate picture that shows the connection point for the windscreen in the front, and that is such a complex and intricate little bit of building there. But I absolutely love it, and it really is a lot of fun to see people get really creative in small compact builds like this. The number 7 build in the lineup here is the AC Shelby Cobra Revised. The builder Lichtblau has already done this particular build before, but just sort of updated it, which is pretty common with MOCs. Once you've put something together, you're never quite done building the thing. But this car looks amazing. It's built at what looks like a pretty standardized sort of Speed Champions style size for any other LEGO set. And if I haven't mentioned it already, there are Flickr links to all the different builders that I've mentioned here in the description below, and I highly recommend that you check them out. But also check this guy out because he has a ton of other awesome car creations, and I'd say that they all turn out way cooler than what you get in normal LEGO sets. Now, there are a lot of small builds for this week. This next one is the Violet Vanquisher by Perron, and I'm really glad that people are finding awesome ways to use these new Nexonite pieces. The theme is going to be retired, so these parts that you're looking at here, several of them, aren't really going to be coming out in this color or size anymore, probably. But the geometric pattern created with these windscreen parts are awesome, and I like these 3 sort of archways that come out on the ship that use those fun studless slope pieces in the front that really kind of smooth the whole build out. And number 5 here is the smallest build of the week. We've got a micro build titled Countryside Tunnel by David Zambito. Now, in the description, he doesn't necessarily say that the seed piece is the Nexonite's visor as the cowcatcher, but I'd say that's probably a pretty good place as to where he started, and it looks so cool. The engine looks awesome. I've never seen a micro train look quite as good as this one. Usually the ice cream pieces are used for the smokestack. This time we've got some bones and clips, and oh yeah, the rest of the micro landscape looks really cool too. You can see a little campsite, a great little build that shows the entrance to a tunnel in a mountainside, and all in all, it's a really fun looking little micro scene. He said he tried a new building technique for the trees, and let him know what you think about it. And the number 4 build here definitely appeals to one of my soft spots. This is an interpretation of the Batcave with the costume displays and was designed by Thorsten Bonsch. Now, over the years, LEGO builders have been putting together some incredible Batcave designs, and a lot of them sort of focus on having all the crazy high-tech sort of fantastical comic booky detailing thrown in there as much as possible. And don't get me wrong, they're really impressive, but there's just something so awesome about sort of the quaintness and the grandness of this display that we've got here. The stalactites and stalagmites that hang from the top and bottom look really great. There's just a sort of a simple guard railing, some candle wicks, and the containers that actually hold the costumes look like some closet container pieces that he might have just pulled out of one of the random rooms in his mansion and brought down into the cave itself. The detailing up above looks almost sort of cathedral-esque and has just a really sort of raw, dark, gothic feel. Really cool build. I love this Batcave design. And now let's get into the top three. This one here is called the Lake Union Dreamboat, or the Vagabond. I believe that's the name of the ship. And the builder is Marcus Wrong. This is an incredible looking ship. I just love the design itself for the vehicle. Usually when builders make ships, they don't do the bottom hull as often because it's harder to display. That's not the case here. It looks amazing. There's some fun, subtle details. I like that little bit of detailing towards the front with the gold. And it looks as if you can take the hull off the bottom of the ship and put it into this awesome display here with a killer whale. Now, I say that you can check out flickers of certain builders. Other ones, I highly encourage you guys to check out the link for this guy in the description below, because we've got some really cool sea creature creative designs for sort of underwater vehicles like submarines and stuff. I got a kick out of it for sure. You guys might too. And now this is a Star Wars game. There are large games that people make out of Lego, like pinball machines and stuff like that. This is something that looks legit like a lot of fun to play. This is a YouTube video that does not have nearly as many views as it should. It's called Star Racer Arcade Game by TCal Creations. This pod racing simulation game actually has barriers sliding down in front of you at different paces, and it requires you to have your racer dip, duck, dive, and dodge. To date, I think this is my favorite large-scale Lego game creation I've ever seen. The theme is awesome, the build for it looks really cool, and the actual play dynamics feel like they could be something that might be a lot of fun to mess around with. This last build here, the number one, my favorite build of the week, came from Andreas Lenander, and maybe I'm just really into a lot of the cyberpunk builds that I'm seeing lately, but this is so cool. I don't know if this was inspired at all by the Lego Ninjago City set. Scene could match up really well with some other large Cyberpunk City builds that have been coming out lately, but we just have a million fun little scenes. You can see a couple of fun speeder bikes also built in here as well. You should check out the flicker for this guy. And there's something sort of dark and dreary using this gray backdrop and also having a gray building and transparent water, where this thing feels very dark and gloomy and isolated completely around, yet still have a lot of sort of jarring highlight colors like the teal, and there's even sort of a glowy LED string towards the top. There's a lot of fun little scenes to get lost in, and that is it for my personal top 10 creations of the week. Check out the description below if you want to check out any of these guys' flickers, or there might even be some links to other creators that I didn't have the time to talk about today. And now it is time for the fan creations of the week. Remember, if you guys want to submit your own Lego fan mock creations, just check out, once again, the description below. There is an email for the proper place to send your pictures to, and I'm out. So check out what you guys submitted throughout the last week. I might have skipped a week or two ago, so there might be some extra pictures here on this run. And I have to say, we got some really, really awesome builds. And I have to say, we got some really, really awesome builds. So I'm out again. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.